far we have seen how to create the you know things using Terraform, right? How we can create components. So I have told you the the documentation of the Terraform is pretty awesome, right? We just have to type in about the resource, go to that resource and drill down that resource and start using that as per your requirements, right? So then next we have to think about is how we can do the linting of those resources, right? Yesterday we created so many resources, right? But when you are doing it for your environments and for your organization, you'll not use it just the way we did it, because we were just that was just a initial things, right? We did, right? But what, right, if we want that to use for the our future projects, then in that case it has to be very proper and it has to be very I would call it linting. So initially when you will do it, you do how the first task would be to achieve how you are going to do that, how you are going to complete that, and the next task would be for you is to do the linting of those resources, right? The linting means how you are variabilizing the things, right? So you can see here how you can create the variabilize the things. There are so many tools available also which can directly help you, right? You can directly go variables in Terraform. You can go here and find the various type of variables we have directly, right? If you come down, so how it will tell you how you can declare your variable. So uh, the reason behind doing these all things, guys, the linting again, just making your code very generic so that you could use that from one project to another projects easily, right? So here you can see we are giving one variable, right? And the variable is image ID. You could put your image ID here, and when you write your TF, you can call this image ID there, right? You can call those variable there. In the same way, you can see here one variable we are defining, which is called the availability zone underscore name, right? Here you see we are giving the list in the string format, right? And default would be US East 1A. So that in availability zone names, this zone would be there, right? So next time you create it, you don't have to put the availability zone here. You just put the variable there and you are done. In the same way, if you want to define some ports here, and you can do it like way. So this becomes very easy for you to variabilize, whatever things you have. So now you see the example here. Now you are creating EC2 instances. What you are doing is where.image right? You do not need to define the ME complete ME here. You just put it here where.image ID, and this image ID will be picked up from here, right? Whatever you will define here. So in the same way, we have one example here, right? I will first show you the couple of things. Let's say I have one variable file where I hold all the variables, right? I will quickly remove this TF file here, let's say. So things will reduce here. So I have one network file, I have one security file, I have one subnet file, I have one EC2 instance file, routing and network file, and variable file. So let's quickly jump on the variable files. Things are same that we have done yesterday, but bit changes here. We are defining first variable, putting it, we are saying the variable name is reason, right? And the value of that reason would be default equals to this, right? US East 1. In the same way, we are creating one another variable here, which is called the Linux EMI Linux. We says type is map, right? What is map here, right? You can go here, variable type map in Terraform. So just remove them here. The reason behind I'm showing you these things is, right, it can help you. So let me see if it is defining here. Okay, I think it's not. Here is the map. A map value is a lookup table from string key to string values, right? This is useful for selecting a value based on the some other provided value. A common use of map to create a table of machine image per region, right? What it is doing is this is the list of images per region. If we have multiple regions, right? So what all images we have in those region, we can create the list of. Basically, we are putting all the string in those, you can say in the default value in this variable. So whenever needed, or whatever the image you need, you could call up here, right? That's what we have given here. Type is map, and the default value we can see here is array in the form of array, which you see west 1 2 3, and the value put in here. You can see in East 1 you have this AMI, in US West 2 you have this AMI, Oregon. In West 1 Ireland you have this one, and Ohio West 2 you have this AMI, right? The next variable we are defining is AWS key. Now I'm saying default key name is this, right? Access key is the variable, and this will hold this value. And again I'm saying one variable, and variable name I am giving AWS key, and I'm giving this key here. The description is optional. If you want to put it, that's fine otherwise, right? The next thing you can do is you can do this way also. You can also define the key this way, right? Sometime it may be like you might need uh, you do not want your variables or your credential to show. You want to protect them, right? Then in that case you can keep them in one configuration file. You can run the AWS and configuration command. You can put your username and password, I mean secret key or uh, access key there. So automatically it will save the file in this location, right? You can encrypt and decrypt it using couple of methods, right? So you can even call it, the variable name will be CRED file. So in place of access key and secret key, you can give the CRED file there directly. So this will all work for you, right? The next variable I'm going to define here is variable. In variable I'm saying full CIDR, and the CIDR would be this, and we are creating to another variable. We are saying public subnet 1 and private subnet, right? Two variable, and we have given the value here also. And at the end we have created one another variable with the key name, and the key name variable we have given the value to DevOps1. This key name holds this DevOps1 value. Any questions so far? Right, so that's what we have defined all the variable, right? Now the time for us to create the let's say network TF first, right? So open this network TF here. So what we are doing here is first we are defining provider. We are saying provider is this, and what is the access key and what is the secret key. We have given the you know we I already told you how to define the variables in the double quotes, right? Dollar braces where.aws underscore aws key. Where is basically calling your variable, right? So the variable we defined was aws underscore access underscore key, right? That's what we have defined, said where dot aws underscore access underscore key. In the same way we are saying where dot aws underscore secret dot key, right? If you would have credential in file, you could have given the shared credential file, and you would have given call the variable like this. The next variable is reason. So we are saying reason is where dot reason that I have already shown you, right? So this would be called up here. The next resource we are going to create is VPC, and the VPC name would be my VPC. Even you could variabilize it if you want. And the CIDR block would be the variable you have defined there, where dot full underscore CIDR. Again, do you need host support? Whatever the tags you want to define, that's up to you. And the tag I am given is my Terraform VPC. Any question on this, guys? Are you able to understand why we are doing this? Where dot this? Whatever the variable we have defined there, we are just calling them here. Make sense? Okay. So we have created network, and so in the same way we are going to create the subnet too. Even I could have put all the things in the network TF itself, right? So just to make it more visible, I have created multiple files again, right? I could have kept everything in the network TF file though. So here the resource name is AWS underscore subnet, and I'm saying subnet name is public. VPC ID, what would be the VPC ID? VPC ID, you know, already know that whenever the resource will be created, it will get one IP. That's what we have to, you know, double quotes. We have to specify the dollar AWS underscore VPC. This is the name of the VPC resource. My VPC is the name of the VPC dot ID. Whenever it will, you know, it will give one ID, so this ID will be assigned to it. So the CIDR block would be the variable we have defined again, where dot subnet underscore public. So it will be picked up from the variable file itself, and the tag we have given is this. And the availability zone where you would like to create it, data, this is the availability zone. So that's what we have put it here, 0. So the 0, 1, 2, whatever there will be, it will be put in here, wherever you will be creating it, right? The next resource is AWS route association table, right? So we have not variabilized it though. We could do this also, right? But if you see here, this is the public and subnet ID is AWS underscore subnet underscore public ID that we have created. We are assigning route table to it. We says the route table ID equals to AWS route underscore table rt.public ID, right? In the same way, we are creating private subnet here, and the CIDR block name is this, and this is the private subnet. Again, the zone is, we are saying this should be in 0 and this should be in 1. We are just changing the availability zones here. The next is, again we are associating route table with this, right? RT route tables, right? This is the private route tables, and what we are saying is subnet ID would be this and route table ID would be this. So we must would have created the route tables also. So if you go to the routing and network TF, so here what we are doing is declaring route table. The first we are doing is we are creating internet gateway here. The name is GW. We are saying create in this VPC ID that you already know. I have explained it yesterday. The next is we are creating network ACL, right? In network ACL, we are just creating ingress and outgress rule, and we are allowing everything at this moment. We are not denying anything, right? If you come down now, you see the resources route table. So if you see there, right, in the network section, let me take the another console also. Okay, so we'll go to where's. Now I'll open the network.tf, right? Just if you see here what we was doing, sorry, that's my bad. Subnet.tf, right? To subnet we have to assign the route table. So when we was assigning route table, what is that? Route table association, right? The resource name was, we said public, and we said this is the route table that we have to assign. So here what we are doing, when we are creating route table, resources AWS route table, and we are giving it a name RT table public, right? And this is the VPC where it will be created, and what will be the route we are saying it's a 0.0.0/0, and it should be routed through this internet gateway that we used to do manually, if you remember, guys, right? This is how this is working. We are saying this is the route table, and name of this route table is this, that we have specified here itself in the public subnet, right? And the second, we are saying the name of this that we have specified here, rt underscore public dot id, because whenever it will create it, it will get some ID here. And the route we have assigned is, we are saying CIDR block is 0.0.0/0 means anything coming in, anything coming out, let it go on. Right, in the same way we have created one another route table which is called the private route table, and we are adding the same rule to it. We are saying a route table should be this. Right, if you don't remember it, I'll quickly take you through to take you to the VPC section in the route table, but I believe you would have remembered those all things. Right, we go to route table. Right, whenever we create route tables, right, in route table we see subnet association. Right, we create route first. Here in route we define कि कहाँ से क्या होना है. Right, ये जो ट्रैफिक है यहाँ से जाएगा. वी आर सेइंग इंटरनल हमारा कोई भी ट्रैफिक हो शुड गो थ्रू दिस टू इंटरनेट. राइट, अगेन टू दिस राउट वी हैव टू असाइन विच सबनेट वुड go through it. Right, that's what we are doing here. Right, we are just creating it and we are attaching it here in the subnet section. Right, in the same way we are creating one EIP here for net. Right, and we are also creating the internet gateway here. Right, so you need to, you know, look it very deeply and understand it again. Right, once I'm done with this, again next I am creating some security groups. You can more variabilize it too. Right, in security group what we are doing is, resource name is AWS security group front end, and the name is front end, tag is front end 2. Description is in which VPC ID you will create it. This is the my VPC.id, right, that we have already called up, and we are creating the ingress rule. 80 would be allowed from everywhere, 22 allowed from everywhere, but egress we are saying everything is allowed from everywhere. If you want more, if you want to disable something, you can go ahead and add one more rule here. Just copy this ingress rule, paste there. Let's say what you want to deny. If you want to allow from some specific subnet, go ahead and put it here. Right, so everything will have to define. If you come down now, right, I am creating one database security group. Right, here what I'm saying is security groups which is allowed, this is only allowed from the frontend.id. Right, I'm saying it should be allowed from the above this security group that we have created, frontend.id. Right, but we have added one just for checking, for the checking perspective we have added one another ingress rule where we are saying 22 would be available from everywhere, but 3306 from this node only, from that web server only, that we generally used to do. Right, at the end we are creating one EC2 instance machine.tf. Right, you already know this resource is AWS instance, and I'm giving the instance name here AMI. I'm saying AMI we have already variabilized. I'm saying lookup. What you need to look up is where.ami linux comma where.region. Right, you have to check the region as well as you have to check if in that region that AMI exists or not. We already have a 3 regions here. So next is what type of instance you need. Do you want to assign a public IP to it? Subnet ID, in which subnet you wants to launch it. You see subnet ID AWS underscore subnet. This was the resource name. Right, subnet was the resource name as we have AWS instance, and the public dot ID is public was this in subnet name, and ID is whenever the any resource created it gets one IP, so it would be called here. The next is VPC security group IDs. So again you are calling that variable AWS underscore security ID. This is the name of the you can say resource. Front end was the name of the security group. The ID why we have given. Key name is again where we have just defined in the variable file. That's what we are giving here, where dot key underscore name. It will be picked up from variable name, and the tag we have given here. The same we are doing here in case of this instance. Right, so once you are done with this linting, right, next time what will happen if you want to create the same kind of environment, what you need to do, you don't have to do much. You just have to go to variable file, right, and make changes in the variable, right? Make changes, let's say, you make changes in this access key, secret keys, credential file, you change the CIDR block, key name, and just run the file, and you're all done, right? That's what I would suggest you. You just focus more on variabilizing things. So what, try focusing, variabilizing more and more things. Even those things we have defined here in the security subnet, try to variabilize them also, right? So that it becomes pretty easy for you. So let's do quickly Terraform plan. Okay, it shows this is the plan that you are going to execute. It has 15 number of items that will be created, right? So now you go ahead and apply these. Right, so I would call it yes. So it will quickly start creating that complete infrastructure for you, right? Even next time if you want to do, create the same kind of configuration in the another place, just go to the variable file, change those variable, run that script there, and you're all done, right? That's what the linting is very necessary. So this might be asked, right? How you do the linting, why it is necessary. So you need to understand the linting stuff also, when we are working in the automation stuff. So you see how quickly the things are being created, right? I'm in Frankfurt, so let's go to North Virginia. So you can see instance has been launched, database, and web server. If you drag it, the key is DevOps one that we have defined, and the security group has been created and allocated also. It has database, it has front end. So let's go to database and see what are the rules it has. Alright. So what it says, let's go to inbound, edit the inbound rule. First, it is saying SSH it was accessible from everywhere, but MySQL Aura is accessible from only the web server. So even we should have disabled the SSH from everywhere. We should have allocated it from this itself. So that's fine. I have just done it to show you, right? In the same way, now you would see VPC and all the other resources would have been created. So still it's creating the route table and other stuff and allocating the things. So if you go to VPC, you can see my Terraform VPC has been successfully created. And if you go to subnet stuff, public and private subnet has been created. If you go to route table, RT route table has been created. Another would be in progress maybe, or it's up and down. Only 4 are there so far. You can see internet gateway would have been created, right? That's what we created, right? And elastic IP would have been created, right? That's what we requested. Net gateway would have been created, right? In the same way, if you need, if you want for peering and everything, you can have the code from directly Terraform and use it. So still it is creating. So you can do anything, whatever you want from the Terraform, right? And if you face issues, try finding them in the GitHub stuff and fix those issues. The most of the issues you will see because whatever the AMI you have specified is not available in that region. You just have to think about those things also. If you are getting some more 400, sometime instances are not creating, you'll have to take care of those things also. So the route table private is still creating. I'm not sure why it is taking this much of time. Okay, so you can see now it has been created also. Now we should have 5 instead of 4. So you can see this has been created and tags had been allocated to it now. Right, both the route table has been created. If you see the routes here, you can see the route has been already allocated here. If you go to the public also, you see this is the route, it has been allocated to it. Right, so all the route has been created, all the subnet association has been automatically done, right, that we have to do manually and each and everything. So everything is done for you here. Right, you can go to EC2. Right, you can quickly access your instances also now. Right, if you want to create more instances, anything you need, if you want to update them, right, you can do it. It's a database, it doesn't have any public IP. And above BPK1, and here you go. Right, all thing you have done in some matters of some minute. Even now, if you want to terminate those things that you don't need, or if you want to modify something, you want to update something, go ahead, quickly do it. Let's say now you are looking to update some tags in the EC2 instances, you don't like it, right, and the tag you will call it web server 1, right. Even if you want to add some one more column where you would like to create some more instances, right. So let me copy this, let me insert it here. Let me change it to 2. Right. Let's do Terraform plan quickly. Oh, sorry. It says the argument or block definition required. Oh, shit. In this instance, look up. This looks good. What is that argument block? Okay, I got that. I think I killed this, right? So you see what will happen now, right? You are just updating your infrastructure. It says one plan to add here. This is the ME which will be picked. Couple of things would be deprecated here, and what will be happen you can see here. This instance will be added. So you can quickly go here guys and apply it. So yes, here you go, right? Even how quickly the things are being modifying here and being creating for you. So that's how the Terraform makes your life very easy in point of view, in point of administrating, or you can say in point of minimizing the reefers, right? In case if you have some development environment, if you want to like destroy them too, it takes very less time. So after doing your POC, you can quickly go ahead and destroy all your resources in a minute. Right? Even destroying this much of resources would have been taken, hell of time. When you have done those things. So which has been done in a matter of minutes here. You can see shutting down and termination has been started here. That's how the Terraform will help you. So keep on practicing the things which is going to make you know really strong system admin in you. So and if few of the things are remaining now, which is being destroyed, you can see all the 16 resources has been quickly destroyed. Right, so how easy it was, right?